Today on Clubhouse Gas, we're lucky enough to be joined once again by a friend of the show, Jeff Bagwell. Jeff, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks, good.
Last time we talked a lot about your youth sports experience and what it was like growing up and how you got to the bigs. And today I want to maybe get a little more technical side of the game. A lot of people out there looking for information, and I can't think of anyone better to get it from than you. And for me, a lot of these guys are all ABCs of hitting, step, hips. Mechanical. But we don't talk a lot about the mental aspect of it. So take us through for you an at-bat. When did the at-bat start for you?
Probably when I woke up. I think about what I'm going to have to do every day. Now, obviously, as a younger kid, you don't have what I have, with video and knowledge of that guy that I've faced 80 times already. But a lot of it starts, and this is what I like to get into with a lot of kids and even professional guys. Pay attention to the game. Watch that pitcher from the on-deck circle, or more importantly, watch him from the dugout. Watch him warm up. Watch what kind of pitches he throws. And then when you get into the on-deck circle, you go through your progression. All you're trying to do is get loose there. Don't get too crazy up and thinking about my hands and this and that, because the more you think about that kind of stuff, the more trouble you're going to have once you get in the box.
Right.
Understand what's going on in the field. As you walk up to home plate, you're going to know what you have to do. There could be first and second. The coach might tell you to bunt. Realize that might actually happen. If there's a man on third and less than 2 outs, you probably got to try and hit a fly ball. And that might be starting to get a little technical. But you just got to stay involved. And then as all that is transpired and all those things you got to think about, you got to turn everything off.
Right.
And not think about anything. Just think about getting a good pitch. If you get a good pitch and it's a strike, you got a much better chance of getting a hit.
For you, was it look fastball and adjust?
Yes. I never want to get beat on a fastball. It's the easiest pitch to hit.
Yeah.
If something's breaking away from me or down and below, that's harder to hit than a straight fastball. So I was always keying off a fastball.
And what about when you got into a slump? What about when things started going wrong? Did you start tinkering?
Of course I did. I do the same thing that every one of you do. I go out and I try and mess with my feet. I mess with my hands. I copy some guy that I saw on TV that got a hit the night before. Obviously, maybe some of you know my stance was kind of weird.
That's what I was going to say. How much tinkering did it take to get to that particular stance?
I am not quite sure. And I was in San Diego and I was watching one of the greatest hitters of all time hit with Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn was a little spread out and never moved his head, and that was the whole philosophy for him. So basically I just tried to do that, spread out, and somehow, some way I came with what I came up with, which I have no idea. And if you're watching at home and they put this clip up somewhere, do not do that. It is terrible. I do everything wrong. That being said, that's the whole lesson in stances. If there was one way to do it, everybody would do it.
Right.
All it is what is comfortable for you. So you're not thinking anything. It's comfortable, and the only thing that matters is at the last minute, every single person you see hit, their contact point and their hands and everything looks exactly the same. But it can start in so many different ways.
Whether it's Tony Gwynn, Craig Counselor, or you.
It doesn't matter. Once they get to contact, it's all going to look the same.
Was there a moment for you, you had a big 2-home run night, maybe when you hit 365 and won the National League MVP, maybe you go home and you turn on Sports Center and they're showing you hit a home run, and previous to that home run, they give an establishing shot of you in that stance and you win. What in the world is that? Was there a moment when you didn't realize what you looked like and you just said, my goodness?
I realized it because people all over the league would make fun of it during batting practice. So I knew exactly what I was looking at. But as of everything, I failed sometimes and I had some success.
And what about for coaches? How many people were trying to change you?
The last coach basically told me, he said, hey, as long as it works, I could care less what you do. You can stand on your head as long as you can hit. And fortunately, throughout my career, I did pretty well. There were times where I wanted to change it, but I always went back to what felt comfortable for me.
When I think batting stances, I think of a gentleman who I met in August. I had an opportunity to meet him, and I was dumbfounded. I talk to professional athletes for a living, is what I do, and I just couldn't talk, and that was Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah.
And have you ever met Cal Ripken Jr.?
I have, and I was absolutely totally embarrassed when I met him. I kind of ran away from him almost, but there's another guy, if you look him, he has a new stance every week.
Yeah.
So even Hall of Famers change their stance.
Tell a story about meeting Cal.
Well, I was with my fiance at the time, and I was at a softball game, and I got in the elevator with her, and then all of a sudden Cal Ripken walks in. And if you ever see Cal has these like wolf eyes that and he's 6'5" or whatever how tall he is, and I was totally scared. So, you know, the elevator opens, and normally you're supposed to let the girls out and all that. The elevator opened, and I took off. I just went, and she's like this, he's looking at me, and eventually that night I went and I had to apologize to him. I said, I saw her act like that. He said, it's all right, kid. Everybody gets nervous every once in a while. So that was my Cal Ripken story.
Did you say anything in the elevator?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
I couldn't wait to get out.
Did he know who you were?
No.
So, it's not just us. Jeff Bagwell, who I believe bust is going to be somewhere very close to Cal Ripken's in about 2 years. That's going to do it for us today. We look forward to seeing you right back here next time for another great edition of Clubhouse Gas.